Leaked emails show just how Donald Trump really feels about our veterans, and spoiler alert, he and his administration don't give a damn about them. Big surprise. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. Donald Trump's views on the men and women that serve in the United States military have gotten him in trouble in the past. Need a recap? Try this little tidbit from his first term.
At the time, it seemed odd. The President of the United States skipping a ceremony to honor Americans killed in the First World War, blaming the weather, even though other officials made it. The Atlantic magazine reports that on that specific visit, Donald Trump told staff, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." Later, he called 1,800 Americans who died in the legendary Battle of Belleau Wood suckers for getting killed. The reporter behind the story stands by it and his high-level, unnamed sources.
He doesn't understand why one would go pay that level of respect to fallen American soldiers.
Trump called it fake news, blaming the story on disgruntled former employees.
They had a rainstorm, the likes of which you've rarely seen. The fog was so great, it was as dense as I've ever seen. And I said, nope, I want to go. I insist on going.
Trump also denied calling former prisoner of war and Senator John McCain a loser, despite an established record of saying exactly that.
He lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. He's not a war hero.
My stepson was not a sucker.
Veterans groups are already looking to capitalize on the story, which has been confirmed by other outlets, including Fox News. For some veterans, the story speaks volumes about Trump's patriotism.
And yes, in case you're wondering, the reporter that published that story in The Atlantic is Jeffrey Goldberg, the brilliant career journalist who also broke the Signalgate story earlier this year. I want to be like Jeffrey, and I'm guessing Jeffrey is going to wish he'd broken this next story about leaked emails. Stay with us. Oh, and speaking of Signalgate, it also says something about Trump that he would appoint this guy as the head of the Department of Defense.
There's a reason we're going to have a big old army parade on June 14th of 2025. It's because what we celebrate in this country is a reflection of what we value. There are a lot of vapid things to celebrate, plenty of reality shows and garbage music and stuff on Netflix. How about we hold up our special operations community? You see, we have to convince Xi Jinping that today is not the day to test the United States' resolve. Lieutenant Commander Draper Kaufman compressed their physical...
Do we want to take bets on how many bull shots Hegseth had before giving that little speech? Or how many married women that are not his wife he knocked up? Calm-breast? Seriously? I digress. The man is a disgrace, just like everyone else in this god-awful Washington reality show. Say what you will about Netflix, but if they were producing this incarnation of The Apprentice Tariff Edition, the show would be a lot more entertaining. It also wouldn't have the twists quite so depressing as this. It turns out Trump's disregard for veterans goes even further than we anticipated. Raw Story, in conjunction with pro-democracy outlet ProPublica, has obtained dozens of leaked emails from within the Veterans Administration. In it, officials ranging from doctors to senior administrators have sent repeated warnings that cuts imposed by the Trump administration will cost thousands of American veterans their health care. The cuts include treatment for diseases ranging from metastatic head and neck cancers to kidney disease to traumatic brain injuries. The White House has only begun cutting staff, but plans to axe about 70,000 Veterans Affairs jobs this year. That's about 15% of its total workforce. The cuts have already been especially damaging to cancer treatment. The reduced staff means patient databases tracking cancer screening and treatment are not kept up to date. The emails also reveal that the Department of Veterans Affairs plans to shutter between 17 and 29 Veterans Affairs hospitals nationwide. Now, in fairness, outcry within the VA and from the public has forced the Trump administration to back down on some of its cuts, such as to chemotherapy treatment. But scores more cuts are set to move forward. The White House released a proposal last week that calls for 4% increase in the VA's budget. While that total includes more money for medical care, a large portion of that would be used to pay for veterans to seek care outside the VA medical system. In other words, to seek more expensive treatment in the private sector. And to me, that says it all. This is simply a move to funnel taxpayer dollars into the hands of private companies and further erode the systems our government has created to honor and take care of our veterans. God forbid someone see that the healthcare we provide through government agencies is good. Maybe then the whole nation would want a national healthcare service, which would drastically reduce the cost of healthcare in this country and majorly curtail funds to private insurance companies. You know, normally this would be the point in the segment where I rant about how Trump and his administration are a disgrace to this country, but I have a feeling you already are right there with me. So instead, I'll just say, Trump and his leeches disgust me. They've scraped the bottom of the barrel before, but this isn't the bottom of the barrel. It doesn't even deserve to be mentioned with the barrel. This is Occupy Democrats.